What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. Alright folks, a lot of you guys have been asking how has my free-to-play account been going, where am I at in terms of power, and how am I able to beat Damos POS, specifically POS 2 on my free-to-play. So I'm able to do it with Shunjinwoo, and as well as just finish overall hard mode Damos with my light team. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys my setup. I've been doing this on live streams for weeks now. I've been showing you guys how I've been doing it, but a lot of you guys don't get a chance to watch my live stream. So I'm going to go in and give you guys my overall power. Now, my overall power at this point for my free-to-play is right here, 1501655. Now I will go over how I got here, what I've been doing to get here, and what I'm doing to go forward in terms of raising this power even further. That'll be a different video on its own, but just so you guys can see right there, that is my setup. And of course, this is a complete free-to-play account, guys. I know some of you guys still have a hard time believing this who are fairly new, but this is what free-to-play can do in this game, and it's quite the accomplishment to get there if you are willing to put the effort and time, and of course have a little bit of luck and knowledge along the way. So this is the free-to-play account. This is the power I currently have, and I'm going to show you guys right now in regards to the actual setup for Damos fight. Okay, so a lot of people have been asking me what I've been doing, how I've been getting there, etc. Right, so you guys can see right over here, I actually didn't even build my gun he fully. I have his let me go back a second here. I think this will be easier to show you guys straight from the start. You guys can kind of see how it goes. Okay, so this is my gun he, this is my Thomas, etc. Okay, so these are the setups here I have. I'm going to give him this critical hit and additional defense one, which is max 15. This is from Sun Jin-woo. Now you don't really need this extra passive for light, so I just give it to him for stats purposes. Yes, that's right, stats matter more, so make sure you give that. And you guys can see from my Thomas, I've got the core attack one here, right? This is 20% more critical hit damage on cores. This is going to be just stats, additional defense, and crit rate. And then of course here I've got the MP consumption reduction for light, which is super important, including the stat is actually MP reduction, so I'm never going below what I need for obsidian to ever run out. Okay, now Min has pretty much got all crit damage, and then for gun he here, I think I added this like crit damage one right here. You guys will see shortly as I talking to everybody here. Right there, critical hit damage and attack, right? So I just give him this one just for now, just because I just want him to have more stats. And then you guys can see here, I leave the 58 and the 19% one alone. I just forgot to change it, so it doesn't really matter. You guys can see right over there, I've got 1317199. Now, people were asking about my Thomas setup. Here is my Thomas setup and my stats, okay? So first off, for stats, this is what I've got rocking here. For this setup, I've got defense at 32.5k. I've got 50% crit at about 12.4k. That's right, over crit does matter on higher end mobs. I've got 171% crit hit damage, which could be higher, but my defense pen is 24.7 and my damage increase is 22.4. Now, importantly, just so you guys are aware, the weapon is maxed out, and then I'm running the following set for the first fight. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm running the set all across the board. It's armed. Even though it does raise attack and he doesn't scale off attack, what matters more is the 4P set, which ignores the target's defense by 18%, and that's a full 18%. So that's going to rock the first boss and Damos at the end as well. And of course, I've got Obsidian here set up with light, right? So for Gun He, I've got full greed, and with Min, I got full blessings. Okay, just so everyone's aware in terms of my setup here and how this is working. Now, we go ahead and watch the fight. Now, I'm not going to show you the whole fight, but rotation is fairly straightforward here, okay? The rotation is easily done if you just follow the proper steps. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to simply run inside, you're going to summon your shadows, and you're going to start breaking with Gun He. Gun He will break this boss very, very quickly before you even need to use your Monarch, if you even have the Monarch, and you should be able to finish this. Now, I've got 1.37 here, I believe, in terms of power. Pretty straightforward. I'm over the cap, so it's going to be a lot easier to break. It's going to be a lot easier to do DPS. Okay, now this boss obviously is a little bit of a problem in comparison to the rest of the bosses. Everyone else is much easier. I would say this is the toughest hunter boss for sure. So once you do this, bring Min in. Now remember, the key element here is do not cast your ultimate with Min. Just cast the punishment and get out. Here you want to do Thomas full rotation, and then you want to feel free to jump in to his ultimate. Now in Goliath form, you want to do the same thing. Full rotation on your hits. Just make sure you don't get hit by that. Remember, the bigger the shield you have, the more damage you will do. Okay, so try to keep that shield going. Now get out after you do rotation. Make sure you come in with Gun He, get that light debuff, and then do your ultimate. And then right here, bring Min back in. This time you can cast your ultimate no problem, because when you cast Min's ultimate, it affects what phase Thomas is in. So if you cast it when he's in Goliath form, his ultimate will do the more damage in Goliath form. If you cast it during regular Thomas mode, you're only going to get the damage during Thomas's transformation. So you don't want that. You want it during Goliath mode. Now you can see I took him down quite a bit there. With 3 whole minutes left, I'm going to switch back out here, and I bring Gun He in purposely for a reason. You don't need him for this part, but I like to get that light debuff in as much as I possibly can and as fast as I can to get the job done. Okay, so here you guys go. Watch one more ball. Remember, get the green balls. Once that comes in, some of your shadows if they're available, and then there you guys go right there. Okay, now go in, get out, min. Always try to QTE with min during these phases, just because he gets his ultimate and builds everyone else's. Not that that part matters, but the first part for him building ultimate does matter. Okay, so full rotation again. Make sure all your cores are in. Transform. Now this ult here should kill the eyes for the most part. Okay, if not, your rotation will do the rest of the job for you. And then you guys can see here, I'm coming in, doing an ult before he goes out into his next phase, because I don't want him to go into his next phase without me doing that. Now, I kind of miscalculated there a little bit. His next phase, I believe, is 40%. I think I miscalculated a little bit there, but that's fine. So I could have brought in gun. He done another whole rotation, etc. Right? And right here, it's tough because I'm playing live, so I don't always have the luxury of concentration because I'm talking to chat and stuff. You guys can see the chat obviously over there, just chatting away right now. So you guys can see here, I'm dodging, and you want to hear this was a little bit of a mess up on my part. I could have done this way quicker if I didn't mess up that Thomas part, but it is what it is. Okay, so again, transform, full rotation in, get all your debuffs in. So you guys can see punishment is leaving very shortly. You want to make sure you have everything you need inside. Now, he does go down at 40% for his next phase. You want to try to do as much damage before that 40% happens, okay? So here's another ult. And then here is punishment. And again, try to get another rotation in. Push him to that 40, there it is, the 40%. Yeah. Now, when he gets to that 40%, make sure you cast your ult because you will lose that ult if you don't. Now, we have a minute 26 left. I honestly have done this at like 140 left when I did the proper rotation the first time and I messed up. Here, this phase, try to stay close, guys, and just walk. Don't go far back. Just go right up to him and you can walk it, because if you don't, you guys may have to do a shadow step. Takes a little bit more time away. Not that big of a deal though, obviously, right? Okay, here we go. Light debuff, cast your ult. Bring min in, and you guys can see right here, you guys can bring Thomas in next, and then start doing the thing. Now, one thing to note here, the reason why I have such high defense pen with arm, the reason why I have armed is because you actually get a lot more defense pen from your armed set. So if you guys have a good arm set and you're struggling with this boss, try using it. I've always used armed tier, and it's always been the reason why I'm able to beat this boss. With curse, I actually don't have as good of a chance, let alone the fact that my curse set is actually not that good. All right, as you guys can see here, we do another ult here. And again, normally I could finish this with a minute left. I was kind of struggling a little bit here because I messed up that one rotation, and that honestly can mess you up this bad, right? One full rotation is still a pretty bad mess up. And then Thomas again. Now you want to make your ult come out. Now you guys can see for a second, I didn't cast Min's ultimate, right? I'm just waiting until I go transform. Now I'm just attacking, building it up. I've got 16 seconds left, 14 seconds left. I still should be able to get the job done here, and I believe I do. You guys can see here, a couple seconds remaining. And again, this is, like being serious when I say this is actually the toughest boss in this entire place. The rest of them are an absolute joke. Here go Min, casting ult. Come back in with Thomas and just finish it off right here, right? And this is important. This is why it's so important to make sure, guys, you do have that full rotation in. 4 seconds left. Honestly, that last rotation that I did kind of messed up. But there you guys go. Still doable. Still got it done. And it's not too shabby, all right? There's the first fight. Now, for SJW, I'm going to go back and show you guys SJW's fight real quick. I have it a little bit different setup. So all I did was I took Thomas's stuff out that belonged to me, and Gunhee's stuff out that belonged to me, and put it back in here. You guys can see I have 1-4-1-5, so way more power here. And in regards to weapons, I'm using the Guild Spear and Golden Tail Fox to do this fight. And sorry, let me keep going. Sorry, I'm showing my merch here. That's Carlos, by the way. Let me just keep going. And this fight here, a couple of things to note. I already mentioned how to do this on free to play, so I'll skip this one and we'll go right to POS 2 version of it. But for this fight, the main thing to remember is your goal is to break. You only need to break once before the last 20% phase, where you have to break one more time, and it's a smaller bar. Make sure you do that. But the main thing here that a lot of people will make mistakes, and I did in the beginning, is when he goes into his phase where he summons his horse ads, right? When they're going across the screen and stuff, do not have your shadows out. If your shadows are hit by those horses, you will get the damage reduction. Debuff can stack up to 20 times and actually make you lose that fight. So make sure, guys, you don't do that, okay? It's a very important one, and I don't want you guys messing that one up, because it can definitely cause a big problem when you are running this fight. Now, this one here, you guys can see I actually do POS 2, right? There's POS 2 right there as free to play, and it's very doable as a free to play player. You just got to be good about your timing and make sure you get the job done. So I'm going to show you guys my fight, and you guys can kind of mimic it however you need to mimic it, and then hopefully it'll help you guys, some of you guys, beat it even without being the POS version, just the regular version. Okay, so let's go into the actual fight. I'll start from the beginning here because I believe I messed up in the start and I had to restart this one a couple times just because people were like chatting and it was getting out of control. So let's start from the beginning and I'll show you guys the full fight here. Okay, sorry, I'm kind of going my live stream here. You guys can check the live stream out anytime, guys. I do this all the time. All right, so here you go. Prove yourself 2. Let's go ahead and start this fight. It's a pretty straightforward fight. Couple things you will have to watch out for as well. Here's Shadow Step. Go in. Now, if you're going to do Golden Tail Fox, don't finish your rotation. Just do the move and then go right into your Corrosion QTE. And then the whole point here really is to break this guy as quick as you can, right? Now, the Monarch you actually want to save for the, if you possibly can, for the third or second break. Okay, you don't need it for the first break. See, first break's really easy. Now, remember with POS 2, a couple things to remember is that you cannot lower his HP past a certain point when he has to go to his next phase. So you have to wait for that phase to come out. I believe for this phase it's 84% or 84.5% or something like that. But you'll see here how it all works. Now, I do Golden Tail Fox into either the Spear or into Double Down, right? I've got Legendary Double Down. I've got the I don't think it's legendary. I think it's just regular multi-strike, which is the armor break multi-strike, the light one. And then for my, I believe for my blessing stones, I'm using sharp perception. I'm using weakness detection, both legendary. I'm using bloodlust, I believe, as well on this, which is also legendary, and then reawakening legendary. Okay, so all 3 of those are, all 4 of those are legendary. Again, fully free to play, right? And my weapons are A10 Guild Spear and A7 Golden Tail Fox. All right, so again, both very free to play weapons as well too. So you guys can see here. Do not see how I summon my shadows. If you plan to summon your shadows, like I just did right there, make sure that you summon it right after you destroy those balls because you need the shadows to go away before the next phase. The next phase starts. If the shadows are still around, the shadows will actually go through all of those red dots on the ground and they'll give you the full debuffs. Okay, you guys can see right here, look, I'm panicking a little bit, but my shadow's about to disappear right there, gone. All right, so you make sure because if they're running up, they will hit every single red dot on the way up, and you will get the debuff, and that's pretty much a wipe for you. So you may as well start over. All right, so here you guys go. You guys can see we got 3 debuffs. I still don't know how I keep getting those 3 debuffs, but it always happens every round. I got all the green balls there. Here you should wait for the break. I kind of messed up there. I think I did a break right there too early. There's corrosion. Right, there's another break right there. So you can either bring your Monarch in now, if you already have done so, or you can save it for the next phase, last phase. I think in this one I used it accidentally too early, but yeah, you want to make sure you save it for this phase or the next phase because you can see here how long it's taken to break, and that's going to cause a big problem in terms of finishing this fight, especially if you're running low on combat power, right? I believe for this one I still get the job done, but it's still pretty down to the wire when it shouldn't be. So make sure, guys, for this phase specifically, save your Monarch. I used it early on by accident. I think I was talking to chat again. always blaming on chat for shit, but it's true. It's like it's hard to play and do this at the same time and try to keep everybody entertained and answer questions. There you guys go. Next phase. So 55% with 219. Now another thing that I did that was a little bit bad there, but I may build it up before I need it again, is getting your alt. Usually saving your alt is not a bad choice because you want to do it on the look at this. On the ads that he pops up, and if you can do it on the ads that he pops up, you'll just one-shot them. There's really no concern with that whatsoever, okay? So you guys going back in. Again, just doing as much damage as you possibly can with double down, making sure everything crits. And this is why it's important to make sure sharp perception is on all the time. And be careful of that scream, right? Whenever he does that scream, he'll cancel whatever move you're doing. So don't use moves that are going to be very powerful. Wait till that scream is over and then cast it. All right, you guys can see Bloodlust is up. Here I kind of missed double down. That was also a little bit of a mistake. But nonetheless, we're still doing fairly decent, okay, numbers here. And we should still be able to get the job. I believe we do finish this in one try for POS 2. So I'm going to push for POS 3 next. I think it's going to be doable. I'm pretty sure it is. But you guys can see we're doing really good damage here. Now, save your alt. Right? Remember how I said to save your alt? You see it's back up. So I'm glad I actually used it before. He'll summon the ads right about now. And then you guys can go ahead and cast your alt here, which should kill off everybody on the screen and cause you no harm at all. Okay, so the ads are pretty much going to be gone. And you guys can see 26% left. Now remember, at 20%, he does go for another phase. You guys can see 24%. I'm doing no damage at all. So don't waste it. just cast your brake, and then you're good to go. So that's considered the phase. That brake bar is the phase itself, okay? So here you guys can see, going in, again, just having to brake. It's important to do the brakes here, guys. If you don't brake on time, you're gonna lose this fight. It's unfortunate, but just make. Sometimes that bar, like, you wish that bar would happen at the same time as this brake, so you can do both at the same time. And a lot of times you can actually plan for that. Okay, so 24%. If you are seeing the brake bar coming back up, don't push them all the way to 24%. Wait around 25, 26, and then let the brake bar reappear, and then you can brake both bars at the same time, or at least close enough and affect the other bar anyways, right? You guys can see here, we're almost done. Again, just doing as much damage as I can. Okay, there's that scream. Again, never let the scream stop your skills from going through. Okay, and then here we're going to do an alt. And then the rest of it is pretty much history, guys. So that's POS 2 essentially in a nutshell, all right? So for those who are struggling, you guys can take a look at my stats. Again, check out the live stream at any time if you guys want to. And you guys will see that my live stream has all the stats and everything in it. Just so everyone is aware in regards to this specific fight, I'll give you guys my stats in a second. Just give me one sec here. It's actually not the proper stats even for this fight. This fight specifically was done with the wrong stats. And so we'll show you guys POS 2, of course. There it is, level 2. The stats were actually my POD and guild boss stats, which are not the correct stat for SJW, right over here. I've got 350 intellect, 349 strength, and 0 perception. So this is actually not the way you want to run this. You actually want to run this with, sorry, let me redo this. You want to run this with at least 120 if you don't have Intuit. I don't have Intuit, right? So really, intelligence really doesn't play a big part for this for me. So right here is what I actually should be rocking instead. Okay, so if I had this set up, I would have been able to finish I think I'm pretty confident I can probably finish POS 3. All right, guys, there you guys go. That is the full setup. Here's my SJW's gear, just so you guys are aware. Curse and expert for the fight. These are the cores. I've got the attack and crit percentage. Sorry, I got attack percentage per crit hit damage, additional defense crit hit rate, and then HP percentage crit hit damage. You guys can see here in regards to my overall stats, 25k precision, way too high. It is what it is. You can lower that one for sure. 50% crit at 12k, almost 13k, 216% crit hit damage, 19% defense pen, and damage increase at 16.41. Right now, if I were to take this weapon out, for example, put this one in, it's gonna look a little bit different. You guys can see 16.41 to 10.22, and my attack is around the same. Anyways, my CP just went up to 400k. All right, guys, this is Payne. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.